What's happening, sports fans? How you doing? I am Kendrick, the sports guy. Good Tuesday to you. And ESPN's polarizing sports personality, Stephen A. Smith, is in the news and has been in the news quite a lot the last couple of weeks. But for this is, according to an anonymous First Take staffer, that he and his co-host, Shannon Sharp, have become somewhat difficult to work with. We're going to delve into that in this segment. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click that follow button. Again, we all know Stephen A. Smith. He's very boisterous with his takes, no matter what it is, politics, sports, whatnot. And we're going to talk about this other issue that he's got going on too. But let's talk about what's going on with his contract. His deal actually ends in July of next year. He's currently making $12 million per year. And Mike McCarthy of Front Office Sports says that Smith will likely become the first ESPN sports personality to receive a $100 million contract, looking between average salary of $20 to $25 million per year. Again, this is according to Mike McCarthy of Front Office Sports. Right now, Troy Aikman is the highest paid sports personality on air there. I think he's making roughly $18-19 million, with Pat McAfee right behind. But speaking of Pat McAfee, that is where reports are saying that it is making ESPN execs look at Stephen A. It's like, you know what? We're going to give him whatever he wants, even if it is going to be a $100 million contract, because they said they're a little ticked off at what Pat McAfee, some of his antics, i.e. not using ESPN's own on-air talent to come on his show. He had Sham Charania of The Athletic on, that is Pat McAfee, a couple of I think last week. So he's been doing things that has been a thorn in the ass of ESPN's execs, according to reports. Now back to this rumor of Stephen A. and Shannon. According to an anonymous staffer, a production staff who works on First Take production crew, they say that ever since these contract negotiations are out there, that Stephen A. has been very difficult to work with. He and Shannon Sharp allegedly are a two-man team, and basically they coming in and it's them against the world, according to this anonymous staffer. Now again, this is all alleged. Anytime somebody is anonymous, you got to take whatever information coming from them with a grain of salt. But again, this anonymous staffer talked to a tabloid and said that they don't look forward to coming to work anymore just because of Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp's personality. So again, that's just a little gist of what's going on. Personally speaking, I can probably see Stephen A. Smith being somewhat difficult to work with because of his arrogance. It comes across in his takes, in everything he does. He's the type of dude that even when he's wrong, he won't admit it. He will tap dance around it, so to speak. But even when some of his takes is off, even when somebody calls him out, he's never going to admit that, hey, my bad, my fault, I was wrong. He's not that type of character, and I can only imagine now with his contract looming to be expiring next July, I'm sure he has put the pressure on ESPN execs to show him the money. Now again, I'm not saying he's not worth it. I mean, when you think about it, he is the face of the network. If ESPN decides to let him walk, they're going to lose a lot of revenue. He does bring in a lot of money. Now, I will say this about Stephen A. Smith. I agree with some of his takes. A lot of it, I think he just do a lot of, it's a lot for entertainment value, in my opinion. But what bothers me about him is the one comment he made that I won't ever get over. He says that he wakes up in the morning thinking about how much money he can make for his bosses. So anytime you're dealing with an individual like that, they dangerous. So that's one of my things I can't get by. I can't get away from. I can't rock with him on that. Now, he's also made the news with this O.J. Simpson deal. If you watch the BET Awards last Sunday, they did their normal in memoriam of those that have died in 2024. Well, they included OJ, and Stephen A. went ballistic, saying if I was up there, I wouldn't have done it, and just was going in on the late OJ Simpson. I totally disagree with his take on this. Regardless of what you feel about OJ, he was one of the legendary football players. His picture should have been in that memorial, regardless of how you feel about it. Then we won't talk about that. Well, Willie D and comedian Faison Love went in on him, and it's been back and forth, and that's been the big controversy that's been going on now. So I don't know if you've been checking it out. I've been watching it. I definitely can rock and see where Willie D is coming from. Stephen A, I thought was totally off base on that. But anyway, beside the point is he's a polarizing personality. He's a walking revenue machine for the worldwide leader of sports. I don't see ESPN letting him go. I think he is going to get that contract, roughly making 20 to 25 million per year, and they're going to keep rocking and rolling. So, I'd like to know your thoughts on this whole ESPN Stephen A. Smith, all that, and this whole thing that he's definitely been going at. A whole lot of people have been coming at him in social media. So, what you think about this? Is this good for him? Does he care? Do you care? Should ESPN keep him, or should they let him walk? I'd like to know what you guys think about that in the comment section. I'm Kendrick, the Sports Guy. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I will see you on the other side and on the next report. I am out. Peace.